1 on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Shut up, man. You already know.
All right, man. Have some fun.
Jets on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Is Ty Johnson the number one option out of the offensive backfield today? Here he is with a selfie as he enters MetLife Stadium. Elijah Vera Tucker, flanked by Elijah Moore and Michael Carter, the running back, entering the stadium. Only AVT out of those three will be active today. It is the Jets, the Saints, MetLife Stadium. Beautiful day. Eric Allen, Anthony Beck inside the BetMGM studio. Anthony, injuries the story for both of these teams.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You talk about the limitations that both teams have. They're going to have them today. You know, it's been a really a seasonal struggle for the Jets. You're talking about almost every position has gotten a dose of the injury bug, and it's given some opportunities for some new players to kind of step up and do their thing. You talked about Ty Johnson. He's going to have a big opportunity. Receivers like Denzel Mims is going to have an opportunity today. The one good thing is the line has been intact, obviously outside of Becton for a while. Those guys are there, and that should be good, at least for the fact that for Zach Wilson's sake. And, you know, to try to get some balance. On the defensive side, it's been kind of a hodgepodge, right? The same thing with the injuries. But, you know, the Saints are dealing with the same thing. So does that kind of even the matchup? I think it gives the Jets a great opportunity to go in this football game, go through their game plan, execute if they can execute today, and get themselves a win at home.
The Jets 3-9 on the season. The New Orleans Saints 5-7, although the Saints are riding a 5-game losing streak. The Jets won't have budding star Elijah Moore the next 3 games as the team placed their second-round pick on injured reserve Saturday due to a quad injury. Anthony, this is a tough loss.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only is the best offensive weapon for the team, he's one of the best offensive players the last 6 weeks in the NFL as far as catching touchdowns and, you know, getting himself open, the availability, and really the mesh that he's had with all quarterbacks. I mean, not just for Zach Wilson from last week, but just in general. He's been able to be a target that's been consistent, a guy that can make plays, and he's really one of the more exciting rookie offensive players in the NFL. It is a huge loss, there's no question. But, you know, Jamison Crowder can play that position, can do those things on the inside, but that big burst, that splash, those short yardage catches that can turn into big plays, you know, he's a problem when you start circling names on the offense for the Jets as far as who you have to stop. The fact that he isn't on the field, that's got to, you know, make this Saints defense, who, you know, arguably is one of the decent defenses in the NFL, feel a lot better about their game plan today.
Great shots from MetLife Stadium as always. There's Quinnen Williams getting warmed up. Well, you are watching Pregame Central, presented by Uber Eats as always. Jeff Smith also out today because he's on the COVID list this week. The Jets actually elevated 2 receivers to the roster yesterday in Vincent Smith and DJ Montgomery. You mentioned Crowder. How about Braxton Berrios? Could he be an additional piece to the offense? He's having a great year on special teams. First in the National Football League in kick return average, 3rd as far as punt returns.
Yeah, he's really taking advantage of his opportunities. One thing I love about Berrios is, you know, he really doesn't care what he does or what you ask him to do. He's going to do it at the highest level. He always overachieves on the football field. I think giving him the opportunity in this football game to get some more reps at the receiver position is going to be great for him. You know, he's a young man that, you know, has fought his way through, staying on the roster, being a contributor, and now he gets an opportunity to go out there and shine. And again, he's a guy that you can feel good about being accountable, being in the right spot for Zach Wilson and feel good about what he's doing. So, you know, you're looking for those pieces to have on the field. You want the quarterback to be comfortable. I think a guy like Berrios can step right in and give you that comfort level, that security blanket because, you know, no Tyler Kroft now for a couple weeks. Some of those players that the quarterback can feel comfortable with. That's what Berrios brings to the table, and I think he's going to take advantage of the opportunity. I think he can have a huge game today.
Okay, fans, now is the time to join the program. It's a battle of BYU Cougars today. Zach Wilson will account for more total touchdowns than Taysom Hill. That is your question. Yes or no? Go to Twitter right now and vote, and we will see the results later in the show. How about that, AB? 2 BYU products playing quarterback against each other today.
Yeah, two very different style quarterbacks. Taysom Hill has really been a guy that's been a jack of all trades. I don't know if I would label him as a guy that, would be a full-time NFL starter at the position. I think he's more of a wrinkle guy. Right now, he obviously through injuries with Jameis Winston and the retiring of Breeze and, of course, Trevor Siemian not really getting the job done as well. He stepped in and had to do some things. The one thing that really presents danger with him is his legs. He's a guy that creates huge problems. And with Alvin Kamara coming back, that's even bigger. That opens up the playbook a little bit of what Sean Payton wants to do in this football game, because they can do a lot of feeding off each other. The read option, expect a lot of runs in this game by quarterback and running back as far as how they mesh up, and that's going to be important for the defense. Running their keys, a little bit of maybe a college style. A lot of people at the stadium yesterday saw Army-Navy. Yep. You may see some of that kind of stuff in this football game today. Now, as far as passing is concerned, Taysom Hill's a lot of inconsistency, really. He's got a big arm, but where's it going? He doesn't have a lot of touch. 4 interceptions 10 days ago versus the Cowboys.
Got that finger injury.
Yeah, he's got the middle finger. He'll probably have a splint from what I'm reading. And then you look at Zach Wilson. I think he's had his best half last week. Didn't get a lot of options in the second half of the game last week. So here's a young man that should feel confident. This is a league, I think, for young quarterbacks that is a big week-to-week deal. If you do good, he got the Rookie of the Week through the NFL. Those things just generate a little bit of a little more of a confidence level for young players, and playing like he did in that first half of the game last week. Hopefully, they can come out and start the game just like they did, 7 days ago.
Anthony, the Saints aren't going to be feeling bad for the Jets. Listen to these numbers. The Saints have had former Pro Bowlers miss 52 games this season. Yeah. That is the most in the National Football League. And 34 of those 52 games have been on the offensive side of the ball, although Alvin Kamara is back in the lineup, and that could change things a lot.
Yeah, and what's his availability as far as what his pitch count will be, right? I mean, look, he's coming off with a knee injury. Obviously, that's a key body part for running backs as far as cutting, moving, and doing the things. He's a very fluent, athletic, shifty guy, puts a lot of stress on those joints. How efficient will he be in this football game? That'll be something to keep an eye on. But they're excited to have him back, because not only in the run game, he is really a killer in the pass game. Screens, short passing routes. He will run some receiver routes. You'll see probably some empty stuff today where they'll try to spread things out. That'll also give Taysom Hill the option to run. So defense has to be on point. It's going to be a real big challenge, especially when you play these kind of quarterbacks. They're always so dangerous, and it really tricks you sometimes as a second and third level defender, because if he starts getting out of the pocket, he could dink it, he can dunk it, he could run. It really puts players in a bind. So great eye discipline, and really the front defensive four that are rushing the quarterback really compact that and keep him in the pocket. I would much rather see him pass from the pocket than on the outside.
There's no doubt about that. Let's go out to MetLife Stadium right now and bring in Ethan Greenberg. Where do we start with the potential Jets lineup changes in the offensive backfield?
Thanks, guys. You guys already talked about the injuries at wideout, so let's head to the backfield where Tevin Coleman is out for today's game against the Saints with a concussion. He was the lead horse in the backfield ever since Michael Carter a couple weeks ago was placed on IR with an ankle injury, which means that Ty Johnson is now likely in line to be the featured back here at MetLife Stadium in a couple hours. And Johnson has good speed. He has 49 rushing attempts on the year. He's a reliable option out of the backfield, has 2 receiving touchdowns, and also in the backfield, you could expect Austin Walter and LaMichael Pirine, but those guys haven't had a ton of experience this season in particular. Combined, they have 11 total carries. LaMichael Pirine has only taken 7 snaps on offense so far this season. So a bit of an inexperienced group when you get to those guys, but obviously Ty Johnson has the most experience of the group. Expect a combination of Johnson, Pirine, and Walter here at MetLife in a couple hours. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Greens. Uber Eats, the official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL, is delivering game day deals all season, like buy one, get one. Order now with your Uber Eats app. It is about that time, Anthony. I'm ready to get on Uber Eats because I'm getting hungry myself. But I'll tell you what, you mentioned before the Jets coming out hot last week. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns against the Philadelphia Eagles. So many lineup changes on the offensive side of the ball. this week. No Elijah Moore. No. We started the week with Corey Davis being placed on injured reserve. Tevin Coleman has really given you a jolt of late, and as Green just articulated, no Coleman, no Michael Carter, the running back, no Michael Carter, the second on the defensive side of the ball. We'll get to that in a little bit. Trayvon Wesco out of the lineup. Tyler Kroft out of the lineup. Mekhi Becton, week 1, starting left tackle. The Jets have played without him for most of the year. I'll tell you what, a lot of changing parts around Zach Wilson.
Well, yeah, listen, it's always frustrating because as a coach and a play caller and a head coach, you want to get the best product out there, especially if you have a rookie quarterback. You want to have the best pieces around him. I will give Joe Douglas, the GM, credit for building depth around the skill positions. The running back position has more guys that you can put in there you feel comfortable with. Ty Johnson's had some big games to start the season. He was the starter to start the season. I think he's a guy that's got to get 20 touches today, whether it's handoffs or catches. I think you utilize him that much. I think there's some things that he can grow around in his game, being more tougher in between the tackles, those kind of downhill runs. But he's a guy in space that can make plays, and he's an accountable option for the quarterback in the short passing game that I think Zach Wilson needs to hang his hat on. As far as receivers concerned, yeah, you're right. Last couple of years, we've had some practice squad guys, some receivers that are getting some opportunities you would never put on the field just because, and it's not a knock on them, they're just not talented, but you didn't have that depth. So you have Keelan Cole, right? Guys that can go out there. You have Berrios. These guys have experience. Crowder. These guys have the ability to jump in and really understand the offense and run it to the level that Zach Wilson wants and have him in the right spot. And the last piece, of course, is the wild card today, is Denzel Mims.
You took my thunder, man.
Thunder? I'm reeling here. I'm trying to give the audience what they want to hear, but it's true. Denzel Mims is a guy that's going to have a huge opportunity today. Listen, there was a knock on him. He doesn't know all the positions. He hasn't learned it all. It's taken him some growth. Well, guess what, Denzel? Here's your chance. Go out there, make some plays. You got to prove to the coaching staff. You got to beg them to keep you on the field. That's an opportunity that you have in this football game. And I think for me, if he can do that, Zach Wilson can find him in this game and give him some chances, especially on some of those 50-50 balls. Zach likes to throw some of those down the field. He's a big, long receiver that can make those plays, and this is an opportunity for him to step up and take on that challenge.
As a rookie, Denzel Mims posted 40-plus receiving yards in each of his first 6 career games. One of just 7 players to do that since the merger. He obviously has the talent. It's probably been a frustrating season for him. But if you're him right now and you're looking at Corey Davis is out the rest of the year, Elijah Moore definitely out for at least the next 3 games, you got to be looking at this as your prime opportunity.
Yeah, you got to pick it up. I mean, look, you got to get in your playbook. You got to be dialed in. You've been given a lot of time now to adjust as a player. You've been given a lot of time to put the homework in and do the extra things to get yourself ready for this moment. And clearly you should have felt like this moment was going to come because just the historical value of what's been going on with the injuries for all the positions, your time was coming. So Denzel Mims does have a unique opportunity, and he has to grasp it and take advantage of it. I think the organization desperately wants him to be a guy that they can count on, a guy that can stick around for the future, and it's only going to help the depth in the roster of this team if Zach Wilson has more weapons and guys that can come in and filter and make those big plays, because it can't just be the Elijah Moore show every single week. Even though everybody knows that, and he's capable of taking on by himself and making those kind of plays when the defense knows it's coming, these guys need to be part of it, and the only way they can become part of it is if they make plays when the ball comes their way.
Another week, another kicker for the Jets. Eddie Pinheiro out there right now getting warmed up at MetLife.
I think the biggest thing this week is we don't want to talk about any kickers, right? Do your job. This is, again, you talk about opportunities. A lot of kickers are getting wheeled in and out of organizations across the NFL, trying to find the right piece, trying to find the right guy. Just put it through the upright, man. It's all mental. This is a mental position, one of the biggest mental positions in football. Every one of these kickers can kick 60-yard field goals, period. That's just the bottom line. But when the crowd's going and the situations are there and you got an extra point and everything's different, everybody's nervous and pass kickers are getting released every single week, there's added pressure there. So who has enough mentals? Eddie Pinheiro's got an opportunity here. If he can make his kicks today, he can guarantee himself a job next week, and that's a nice check for a kicker coming off the couch. So this is, again, a unique opportunity. He's got to make his kicks. Coach has to feel good about it. This offense isn't going to score every single time, but if they could get down in the red zone, Eric, and make some plays, these are the guys that have to really go out there. And for Brent Boyer, too, I feel bad because he's such a good special teams coach to have a revolving door like this. Someone needs to hook this guy up and make some plays.
How about this pregame central? Pinheiro, easily from 50 right there.
That looked easy. He's got a huge leg. I mean, he played at Florida. I mean, he's got a big leg. But there's a reason why these guys are on the streets. It's the mental side.
And who do the Jets play next week? It's the Miami Dolphins. So he's got a chance to go back to Florida and kick in the warm conditions down there in South Florida. Ethan Greenberg told us it's a little windy there at MetLife Stadium. No surprise at all. But Eddie looks like he's ready to rock and roll today. Let's see.
It's in.
It's in. Yeah, off the left, up right. The kiss.
Feeling good about that. Fans should feel good as well.
It's been an amazing 24 hours at MetLife Stadium, if you think about it. On Saturday, Navy topped Army 17-13 in a hotly contested battle. Great article today from Dennis Dodd on CBS Sportsline, and in it he quotes Rear Admiral Bill Byrne, a former Navy quarterback, who said, "What other game will we find every player on the field, every member of both student bodies who have raised their right hand?" Byrne asked. "Everybody has said, 'I will die for my country.'" I'll tell you what, there's a lot there as far as the emotions that go into that ball game, and what those people, those service people, do, their commitment and their sacrifice.
Yeah, what a bucket list opportunity. I mean, I was almost going to come in early. I wanted to go to that game. Never been to it live. What an environment. What a scene. Really, really cool. It's awesome. These men and women, the players, the coaches, everyone that was at that game, some of the things they did on the field pregame, bringing out the flags, every player. It was just really phenomenal to just see on TV. It really is something that was special, and I'm glad it was at the at MetLife Stadium. I mean, just bringing it back to that space and what it's been. It was an awesome environment, and it was great to see Navy win that game at the end.
Great upset.
Yeah,
huh?
How about that? I mean, no one really picked them, but to have that kind of I love the celebration too. With all of them in the crowd, it was really cool with the players.
It was a great scene at MetLife. Hopefully, it's a great scene today for the green and white faithful. The 3-9 New York Jets hosting the New Orleans Saints 5-7. The Saints, interesting spot, AB, because 5-game losing streak. But if you look at the NFC, they are definitely not out of that playoff picture just yet.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of teams that are still in it, and I think as we get to the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing the top echelon kind of separate themselves. But, yeah, there is a small, minute chance they are not eliminated from the picture. But, they're dealing with a lot of things. I mean, I think they're just trying to get one under their belt, right?
Yep.
Trying to get out of this losing skid. I believe this is the longest skid under Sean Payton's tenure, right?
That's right.
That's a kind of a big deal. I'm sure he's not happy about it. I know he is happy. We talked about with Alvin Kamara coming back. I promise you, if he's had the ability to go out there, they're going to maximize as many stats as possible. Expect to get a heavy dose of him, man. It's not going to be any surprise or secret. Defense has to lock in on him. It can't be just a one-on-one matchup. You have to filter and get to him on the ball, and you have to attack with the team, and you got to keep Taysom Hill in the pocket. Those are easy keys, you'd think. But these are guys that can really make some explosive plays.
You are watching Pregame Central presented by Uber Eats. I'm Eric Allen with Anthony Becht inside the BetMGM studio. We're watching Zach Wilson get warmed up there on a sunny day here in December at MetLife. Let's get to our matchups to watch. And Anthony, I think we're going to split this up. We each get 1.5 this week. Okay. Let's start with Alvin Kamara. Oh, we're going to start with mine. Jamison Crowder versus... Oh, it's Anthony's, actually.
That's me. Yeah,
go.
We got to get your So, yeah, check this out. Jamison Crowder is going to be a guy that's going to get a lot of opportunities in this game. He's a guy that they can count on, a guy that, Zach Wilson's going to be able to get the ball down too quick. And then, of course, in the red zone, Crowder has been a big target since he's been with the Jets in that area. P.J. Williams now is a nice matchup. This is a guy that led the team in tackles last game. He even came off the edge. He's going to present some problems a little bit in the backfield because he's a very good tackler as well. So if there's hot opportunities, just being on the same page and Crowder kind of blocking him up as well. It's not just in the passing game. It's also being a key blocker close to the line of scrimmage, which is that position that he plays, being that P.J. Williams is that nickel back. So this is a matchup for me to watch.
All right, stay right there with Crowder as we look at some numbers here. Crowder's got 42 receptions. Remember, in 2019 to 2020 for the Jets, the team leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns in both of those years. In P.J. Williams, you're talking about a veteran who's got 8 career interceptions, 3 this season, and 30 tackles. Watch out for this name potentially in inactives, though, because C.J. Gardner-Johnson was designated to return from injured reserve Wednesday, having missed 4 games earlier this season with a foot issue. If he is indeed in the lineup, Crowder could be seeing some of Gardner-Johnson. But because the Saints use a number of different options there at their nickel position. Let's look at Eric Coleman's. Coles, unfortunately, can't join us today, but we're going to look at his matchup to watch, which is C.J. Mosley versus Alvin Kamara. Kamara, 105 scrimmage yards this season, AB, 6th most in the NFL among running backs. The Jets so far against the run this season, on the positive, you're talking about a unit that has 27 tackles for loss, 8th most in the league. C.J. Mosley last week, 13 tackles again. He's one of 6 Jets players with 6 10-plus tackle games in a season since 2000, and the first since David Harris in 2009.
Yeah, CJ's been just the heartbeat of the defense, really of the team. I mean, he is the leader, the guy that's, taking the stranglehold of all, putting all the adversity outside, putting the blinders on and going out and playing ball. You'd love to have him have all his guys around him and really see what he could really do, because he can mess up a day for an offense. It's a great matchup. I mean, this is 2 Pro Bowl guys, caliber guys that are elite players. And this is a matchup I'm sure Mosley has been waiting for. I'm sure he's glad that Kamara is playing today, and I'm excited to see these two go against each other.
There he is, Kamara. Saints fans definitely excited to get him back in the lineup. He is that team's top playmaker. It's not even close. I would say their second best playmaker offensively is the quarterback, Taysom Hill. I'm going to go for the other linebacker running back matchup, and that is former Jet Demario Davis against Ty Johnson. Johnson, so far this season, has scored 3 touchdowns, including a 19-yard reception for Cincinnati and a 22-yard scoring reception against the Colts. He averages 9.5 yards after the catch this season, tied for 6th best in the league. So Ty Johnson, not only a threat running the football, but catching it. In Demario Davis, you're talking about a former 3rd-round pick of the Jets in 2012. He had 2 stints with the green and white. The Saints, AB, have continued to effectively stop the run in 2021. They ranked 5th in opponent rush yards per game and 1st in opponent yards per rush at 3.62.
And he's a big part of it. Demario Davis has really blossomed. He's a great leader for their team. He's a guy that brings energy, brings a lot to the table for this defense, and they're happy to have him. And this is a good matchup. Ty Johnson, to me, should get a lot of reps today. I know they're going to.
You said 20, at least 20 touches,
20 touches. That's
all right.
Catching, that's, handoffs, so combined. I think he's a guy, let's go. I mean, put it in his hands. We've seen him do it. I mean, give him the opportunity to go out there. Now, obviously, you got some young players. If P. Ryan gets some chances, that's fine. Get him a blow. But, Ty's a guy that can take on that role. I just feel like, you kind of feed him. He's been waiting. He's haven't really gotten a lot of reps the last couple weeks, right? He's got fresh legs. Let him go out there and do something. I mean, listen, you got to find out a lot about these players. It's good to have a lot of depth, but you can't keep everybody moving forward, too. So you want to make sure you get honed in on the best guys, and I think Ty should get that chance today.
I'll see any point right there. After the game, we'll be back here for Jets Overtime presented by Nissan SNY. We'll have you covered all day with their pre- and post-game shows. But coming up next on CBS 2 here in New York, it's Jets Game Day with Robert Sala. Let's take a sneak peek. You got the Saints Sunday. Can you talk about your respect for Sean Payton and why has he been so successful in this league?
Sean is obviously he's one of the better play callers this league's ever had. And, like every great coach, you could always say there's a great quarterback with him, right? Drew Brees, Hall of Fame quarterback. It's broken every single record, but look past the quarterback, and look at the detail at which they play: offense, defense, special teams, the organization of it all. the standard at which they play, the effort, the tenacity, the violence, just all of it. It's impressive, and he's been there for a very long time. He's obviously got a great handle on game management and obviously play calling and how he wants it to look day in and day out. And he's obviously, again, he's one of the best this league's had, and it's even showing this year. And I know they're in the midst of a losing streak, but their standard and their style of play that's been there forever is still very, very much on tape, and they're a definite problem and a tremendous challenge.
Jets Saints coming up at MetLife. Beautiful sunny day, a little bit windy, but it is the second week of December. Come on, don't be soft. You are watching Pregame Central presented by Uber Eats. As we get into All In or Not today, let's take a look at our latest leaderboard. I believe Anthony is the only one to actually call himself a winner last week. And we do have one person who now has double-digit losses on the season. So let's start right there. Ethan Greenberg, your reporting's much better than your predictions, but we'll start with you. The Jets will score 27 or more points today against the Saints.
I'm going to go not today on this one. Obviously, you guys talked about the loss of Elijah Moore and Corey Davis. Those are just two guys, and also you look at what the Saints have in Marshawn Lattimore. That secondary I know is not as good as the rush defense, but I'm going to go not today here. Until I'm proven otherwise, I'm going to go not today, and hopefully that I'll get a 1 in the win column, but that doesn't mean that I'm predicting the Saints to win. I just don't think that the Jets will score 27 or more.
AB didn't like that response.
You always got to explain yourself, man. Just roll with it. We get it. We know. You love the Jets. We know you want them to win. You ain't got to explain.
Okay, all right, fine.
We just try to get you a W, man.
I won't say anything else other than all in or not today. We can keep rolling.
All right.
I like it.
The Saints defense has allowed 27-plus points in 5 of the last 6 games. I'm just throwing that out there, Greens. Let's get to Eric Coleman. E. Coleman is actually here for our final segment. He said, I'm not coming in for the first couple. I will join you and make my predictions. So let's throw up Eric Coleman's all in or not today. The Jets and the Saints will combine to total less than 43 points. What do you say, E?
I'm all in on that one. Listen, I think that, with the struggles at quarterback for the Saints, Taysom Hill, you have the other quarterbacks playing. They're not putting up points. They're not generating points at the rate that they used to in a normal Sean Payton offense. Plus, their defense is outstanding, one of the best in the league. So I'm going to say it's going to be under 43 points, so I'm all in.
This is fascinating because these guys are pointing to a low-scoring game. Remember, last week, the Eagles and Jets, 6 possessions. Each team scored a touchdown on their first 3 possessions. We'll have to see. Anthony Becht has a special one today. We're calling this a 2-pointer, much like Steph Curry in the NBA shoots the 3-pointers. This is a 2-pointer because this one is a difficult one. The Jets will score a special teams touchdown versus the Saints today.
Look, man, it's been a disaster at the kicking position. I feel bad for one of the best special team coaches in the NFL, Brent Boyer. So you know what? I'm going to give him some love today. He got his guys. He's rallying the troops. I don't have the date. I believe it's almost 2 or 3 years since the last time the Jets has scored a special teams touchdown. Today is the day. They find a way to get one. I'm all in on the special teams touchdown. That's right. You heard it from Eric. I get 2 points if this goes today. I only lose 1 if it doesn't, though.
Shoot, I might give you I might give you 3 points. You make this one.
Oh, you heard it.
The Jets special teams have averaged 13.6 yards per punt return and 26.6 yards per kickoff return, both top 3 averages in the league this season. But Anthony's making a big-time jump by saying a special teams touchdown is on the way. New Orleans under Sean Payton over the years has been very good on special teams. So Anthony going out there on a limb. For me, mine is the Jets will have their first turnover-free game of the season. Turnovers have been a problem at times for this young team, and you knew there were going to be bumps in the road. I would say not today on this one because for me, there's so many lineup changes, and also the Jets have to do that. They have to actually go out and play a clean game. I think they can win this ball game today. I don't know against the Saints defense if they will go turnover free. Let's see what the fans voted today. Their voice, of course, was heard. And today's question for the fans, Jets Zach Wilson will have more total touchdowns than the Saints quarterback Taysom Hill. 62% vote yes on that. It is 11:29. We are awaiting inactives here from MetLife Stadium. We're going to get to Ethan here in just one moment. Anthony, something that you just touched upon, I wanted to bring up here before we got out of here. Robert Sala said this week, the silver lining in this case is we're getting a chance to see a lot of different players. The clouds are clearing with regards to the exact direction this organization needs to go in the offseason to get itself into position to be in contention year in, year out. It's crystal clear. And these next 5 weeks are really to solidify that in terms of the players that are here and the players that we're developing, the veterans that are establishing leadership, and that combination of everybody, this scheme, coaches, well said. That's what these final 5 weeks are all about.
Yeah, well, nobody picked this team to win the Super Bowl this year, right? We all knew that. But, you know, you wanted to see some growth and improvement. You had a rookie quarterback. You had a sensational draft. You see some great play by some of your top draft picks. And now you're getting a lot of play from some depth on your roster. And you're right. This will ultimately put together the best possible roster, plus any free agents, plus the guys coming back from injuries, plus the 10 draft picks you're getting next year to put a product on the field that can do something that the fans can be excited about. I totally agree with him, and I'm glad that he's focused on that. And, you know, it's hard to go through a season to have those ups and downs, but clearly this is what they are building for. It is an outlook for a quick outlook for the short future, but they do have the pieces that they can get to make it right in the next couple of years.
Greens, let's get those inactives.
You got it. I just wanted to be known it is more windy than just a little windy here at MetLife Stadium. Here are the inactives. Tevin Coleman, we knew about that. Isaiah Williams, Trayvon Wesco, Jonathan Marshall, Michael Carter II, Isaiah Dunn. The interesting name here is Ronnie Blair, inactive after the Jets elevated him from the practice squad yesterday. Two names that are not on this list, which is good news for the Jets. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, who used to play for the New Orleans Saints, and right guard Laurent Duvernay-Tardif is in fact active here at MetLife Stadium, guys.
Good stuff from you and E. Coleman. We'll check in with you guys after the game. We're going to sign off here from the BetMGM studio and take a watch here at Zach Wilson throw one more ball. For those watching locally, head over to CBS 2. Jets game day is starting right now. Remember, Jets overtime after the game. We will be here. Have a good afternoon.